Although every year is the same and spring arrives and we see the same kind of landscape every year, I can't help having that feeling of a new beginning, of a moment when, in a way, I reset myself and I start a new year and I start a new adventure, if you want, in landscape photography or in my photography. And every year I'm hoping that it's going to be a better year, it's going to be something more interesting. And it's funny for me to think that with the arrival of spring, I'm experiencing a new year. It's not 1st of January for me, it's the first week when everything is becoming green and the birds are singing and I'm kind of feeling alive, sprouting from the earth. I'm going to start with this first location that I'm seeing right now in front of me. I have a wide trail in the forest and it's kind of winding. It's not, let's say, the perfect S shape, but it's a beautiful winding of the trail. And this kind of winding on a trail or on a road or any kind of leading line gives more dynamic to the frame and it helps the viewer navigate towards the background. So I'm adding depth with all this. I'm also using a polarizer, and I noticed that some people said, well, why you need a polarizer on infused day? Well, I'm going to show you a photo without the polarizer and a photo with the polarizer, just for you to be sure that you need a polarizer inside the forest any time of the day. For example, from here, the S, it's much more pronounced, but I can't see the background, and because of that, I want to be there to kind of see where the trail ends. The settings are f11, ISO 100 and 1/10 of a second. I'm in the middle of the day and still I'm at 1/10 of a second, and that is a perfect reason for me to have a tripod. And whenever you're thinking, well, it's the middle of the day and I don't need a tripod, I'm just going inside the forest, think about this setting that I just said right now and remember that you absolutely need to have a tripod with you. The leaves on the trees are not that thick yet, and because of that I can see the sky. And I don't like that. Whenever I see the sky, I see some white spots that could draw attention from what I want to photograph. So I'm trying to find a position where the sky is not visible. That's why in some directions I really can't photograph at all. Now, in that direction, I need to use a longer focal length or maybe crop the final photo to a wider format to have a better feeling of the place. So have this in mind whenever you're in the forest. Avoid including the sky. It doesn't look interesting. Now over here, the trail is straight, and because of that I need to position myself in a way in which I create a diagonal to have a much more dynamic perspective, if you want. So forest trails probably is the main theme for today. Whenever I'm walking on a different side of the forest, and over here I have these wider trails, and I think they can look very interesting if I'm patient enough to wait for a spot where the trail kind of turns and create a much more dynamic perspective. For this shot over here, I'm trying something completely different. The idea is to have this tree over here as a front row seat tree. So he's in front and this other tree is on the other side. And there's a strange quality of light coming from that area where there are no trees. It's a different kind of composition where I'm trying to find order between trees, and I'm also using that tree over there, this tree, and I'm hoping it's going to be an interesting shot. For this shot, I think a panorama would work best. So I'm having my camera in portrait mode, 105 millimeters, the same settings, f11, 1/10 of a second, placing the focus on the central image. And now I'm starting from left to right, using my 3-finger sign. This kind of fresh green is going to be visible only during spring. It's raw, it's bright, and as I said, you're only going to get it during spring. So get out there, photograph as much as possible, because it's the only way that you can get better. Now, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on photographing. Bye bye.